Hello, comrades. How are you doing today? What we're going to cover is how to make a Moan for your coaching offer. In other words, how I would start a coaching business in 2025, a full playbook. Let's dive right into it. So, to start with, my name is Arcady. Let's skip my second name, it's too long. Anyway, I was a high ticket coach for the past 4 years. I made more money in 1 month than I made in a whole year. I collected over 80K in cash and all without running a single ad, relying on referrals or posting a ton of content. I now create this content to share some no BS money making strategies for high ticket coaches so that you can make some cash too. Had nothing to sell you, so enjoy. My goal for today's video is to share the exact playbook for starting a coaching business and charging high ticket from the get-go. So it's good for both people who are just starting out and for coaches who already have some clients and they're charging like $100, $200 for a session. They just want to make more. Because if you want to be making 10K a month, it's way easier to sell 5 programs for 2K than to get 50 clients per month, right? So, small remark, I failed miserably at 5 different coaching offers, paid over 21K to learn what I am sharing, so that you don't have to pay with years and money to achieve what I achieved. Let's start with what is a coaching business and how should we eat it. The past years, I've seen a lot of people come and go in coaching industry. Some were happy and stayed, some failed and quit, some failed and stayed. They then succeeded and became happy as a byproduct. But they all had one objection in common. There is too much advice that contradicts itself. There are a lot of coaches that are telling you to do different things. Which makes sense because you see a guy on a Lambo dipping his face in a cold water at 3 a.m. in the morning and you think to yourself, well, he got a Lambo, I want a Lambo, I need to put my face in the cold water. Then you do that and nothing changes. I know, it's crazy. Then you see him again, this time telling you that you need to buy his program to make more money. Okay, well, that makes sense. Okay, let's do this. So you buy his or hers program, oh, nothing changed again, except now you're even angrier. I mean, didn't he or she have all these cool testimonials, case studies, and client success people? And yet something is ain't right. So here's what I observed. You feel free to accept or reject this, my good sirs. And coaching business at its core comes down to these things. And the only reason why there's so many people with contradicting advices is because they started a coaching business, they had a way that worked for them, now they're promoting this way as the only solution. But the best thing that I found about business is that there are many answers to one question, which is how to make more money. There are thousands of answers and they're all working. That's the beautiful thing. There is no right or wrong. There is what works faster and what works slower. If you want to promote yourself through a newspaper, it's going to work at some point. It's just going to take a lot of time and adjustment to understand why it doesn't work. So, in order for us to understand what we want to do, we want to understand the core of it so that we can then be creative with it. So number one, the first thing of your coaching business is your offer, is the problem you solve. It stands as the foundation of everything you do. And if you don't have an offer, you don't know what is the problem that you're solving, growing or scaling your business will become a nightmare in every single possible instance because you cannot answer the simple question when somebody asks, so what is it that you do? The second thing is demand for your offer. Amount of people struggling with the problem you solve and willing and ready to buy from you and pay you for the solution. Number 3 is acquisition mechanism. How you reach people who want your help, how do you make them buy? The fourth thing is delivery. Rarely mentioned for some strange reason because coaches do focus a lot on the acquisition, but not as much on the delivery side of things. There are not that many coaching programs that teach you that. Why is it important? Is because if you have an offer that is truly amazing, that really helps people, that gets them amazing results, you will never have a shortage of customers. 30% of your clients will come from referrals. Those will be the easiest sales you make. And some coaches only rely on referrals, which is crazy because you can get so much more clients. So if you do already rely on referrals, listen closely because I will give you some strategies on how you can get clients aside from that. If you don't have any referrals whatsoever, I would seriously consider why is that, given that you have 10 to 15 clients already. If you don't, no worries. Until then, you won't get much referrals anyway. So these 4 things are the only ones that matter. And yes, I know it doesn't include designing a logo and making a website the first week. That's sad, but it is what it is. So now that we know what's needed, let's jump into the actionable steps. Step number 1, build an offer. Make it irresistible, of course, and this one might surprise some people, but we don't want to reinvent the wheel. Therefore, we want to make sure there are only 2 things in place. The problem is painful enough for someone to give you their money so you can solve it, and someone is already paying someone else to solve this problem. Why? Because even though a lot of people are saying you are the niche and all that kind of motivational crap, you are not. Creating a market is not something you can do in a day or two. It takes decades and resources that you may not have right now. So we need to make sure that what you are planning to charge for is already chargeable. How? Quite simple. We go to Facebook and find groups around the problem you solve. Then we ask AI if someone is already charging for that. Quite simple. So we go to groups, Facebook, we can pass some motivational crap here. We go to discover, and let's say that we're planning to solve a weight loss problem. So we just type in weight loss, and look at that. The word use is with sensitive content, if you know me. We want to look for member count. 10K is a good minimum. If you see anything above 10K, it means that the problem is discussable. Now, this is step number 1. Step number 2 is to make sure that people you target actually have the money to pay you. So if you're targeting fat people, let's say in Nigeria, I have nothing against Nigerians, but if you are an American or in Europe and you want to make money, there is a high likelihood that people in Nigeria won't be able to pay you 1, 2, 3K to get help from you. Not because they don't have it, it's just their economy is completely different, their currency is different. 2, 3K would be too much for most of them. Now, there are some people, but we want to make our life easier, not harder. So, workout, weight loss, and fitness tips. As we scroll down, we can see that there are a lot of people with a lot of people in there. So that makes sense. And we know that gyms, there are a lot of them. So people do pay actively to lose weight. Now, let's say that we want to help people with sewing, however you say that thing. And we see that there are a lot of people there. Now, even though there are a lot of people here, I will say that there is a high likelihood that rarely will people pay you $2,000 to learn how to sew, whatever, right? That's why it's so important to focus on the problem that number 1, you know how to solve. Number 2, people are looking for a solution and actively paying for it. Now, you can sell like a small $30, $40 course, $50 course, only assume, on how to sew. But if we want to charge high ticket, that probably won't be the best niche. Let's say we want to help people how to write newspaper articles. And we see that there are people, nobody is teaching them. So this is daily newspaper, right? Article lovers. There we go. So this is somebody who probably shares stuff, but as we may see, there are only 267 members, 40 members. It's not such a popular niche. So helping them with that probably won't be the best way forward. Now, most common ones are mindset. And that's why a lot of people are falling for it. Because if I would to write mindset, it's 1.4 million people in there. 1.4 million. And you know what the funny thing is? If I will go to this group and I will go to people and I'll go to members with things in common, which by the way is the best place to find people, we will find that a lot of these people are coaches. Works at Healy World, lives in, works as entrepreneur, as they call themselves. So this is a coach of some sort. This is also water advocated health. But most of these people will be coaches. That's the funniest thing. So there are 1.5 million members. Half of them are coaches who are helping people with their mindset. Now, why are they there? Because we look at this number and we think to ourselves, because there are so many people, it means it's a big niche. But I'll tell you something. Most of these people don't have the money to pay you. Because those people have a lot of insecurities. That's why they have the issue with the mindset to start with. That's why I'm not a big advocate of starting in an intangible niche like mindset and so on. But we can be a little bit more specific. Let's search for self-love. Okay, so we can see slightly less number, which usually indicates that because too much is not always good. So if we see like 10 to 60 to 70 to 100K, it could be better. So self-love is, by the way, a slightly more niche down problem. And here we can go into self-love for women or self-love for men. So we are even more niched down. Now, will these people have the money to pay you? I've been in a self-love niche for a year at least. And I do know that not every one of them will have the money to pay. You got to be super targeted on who you help with that. Let's say time management, because a lot of people have issues with time management. Opa, right? 103K and wonderful. So we can see that this is an approved niche. Let's, last but not least, ADHD. I'll tell you that there will be hundreds and thousands of them. So ADHD, 546,000 members, 164,000 members, and so on, which means that if you're an ADHD coach, you can help people with that. And you can see that there are people who will probably pay you. Now, you might not be able to charge $10,000 for that, but a 1.5K program, a lot of people are identifying with this problem. Oh, I have ADHD, that's why I couldn't make it. I have ADHD, that's why I forgot. And I'm not making fun of ADHD people, but it is a problem that people do identify with. Therefore, it might be a problem that we want to charge for. That's how we qualify ourselves for the problem that we solve. If you cannot find groups, or you find very little groups with very little people, then you don't solve that problem, because believe me, what you do at this stage will make a difference in the future on how easy or hard it is to grow your business. Second point is acquisition channels. Yes, we need to find people, right? There are only 3 things you can do in online space to find people that may want to give you their money in exchange for your help. Number 1 is ads, number 2 is content, number 3 is outreach. All are great, but all have their pros and cons. Ads are amazing to reach your audience in big amounts, but require an offer market fit, so people already bought from you, saw results, and left your review, so you know that your offer has a market for it. Finances and skills. Content is amazing to create an audience of raving fans that will buy anything you sell irregardless, it's called, but it can take years to build one. Outreach, on the other hand, is great to get started and reach people that you choose, but it's harder to scale with outreach due to natural limitations of social media platforms. So you will have to create a lot of social media accounts, manage all of them, or have people to manage it for you, which means working with extra team members that you may not want to do. I created several videos on how to do outreach on my YouTube channel, check it out. But mainly as like the main thing, if let's say we're solving an ADHD problem, we go to the group, we go to people, we go to members with things in common, we go to see all, and then we start adding them as friends and sending them messages. This is probably a coach, yes, so we want to find people who are not coaches, and the good thing is you can just hover over the name and look. And we will see that this is an owner at Sarah J. Holley, vocal and performance skills tutor at Waterbear. Therefore, she is probably not an ADHD coach, so we can reach out to her and start a conversation. Something like, hey Sarah, I saw that we are both an ADHD group member. How is it going managing the ADHD? That's how you start a conversation. But as I said in that video, I provided way more openers, so check it out. Number 3 is you just got your first client. So now you did some outreach, you got them on the call. Now, how do we deliver to them? Most coaches start with a coaching session for some stinky $200. I'm not a fan of this model for several reasons, but mainly because it takes the same amount of effort to close someone for $200 as it takes to close someone for $2K. No difference, quite literally. So if it's not easy, then why not take the most out of it? But Arcadic, how can I charge $2K for a coaching session? Well, my pumpkin, you don't have to. What you are missing is a value stack. What is a value stack? In simple words, it's your deliverables that are written out. That's it. An example of a value stack we can see here. This is a value stack that I created recently as I was recording on how I would create an irresistible offer. There is a video on my YouTube channel. Check it out by pressing on my beautiful face in the bottom left corner. A value stack is basically all the deliverables in the program. The good thing is you already have most of them, but let's go through this one and I'll make an example out of it. 60-day transformational game plan, a fully personalized 2-phase roadmap to lose fat and build lean muscles without needing to touch a gym. This is an irresistible offer value stack for a weight loss coaching program. And 60-day transformational game plan basically means a client journey flow, a set amount of actions your clients need to take in order to achieve a result. So instead of having one-on-one coaching sessions, you can have a curriculum of some sort. Step 1, stop eating crap. Step 2, start eating healthy. Step 3, stop lying on the couch all day. Step 4, go out and touch grass. And you can break it down by days. That's why it's a 60-day transformation game plan. So day 1, we're excluding this. Day 2, we're excluding that. Day 3, we're excluding that. That way, you can come into it naturally. This is a 60-day transformational game plan. This alone, you can charge $200 for. You can say, on our coaching session, we will build a 60-day transformational game plan for you. Now, instead of doing it on a coaching session and wasting yours and their time, you can just write it out and personalize and tweak things for specific clients. Second is a tailored meal system built around what you already eat. No starvation, no fasting, no food shame. What do you usually do on a coaching sessions if you are a weight loss coach? Well, you probably look at their meals and you probably say, stop eating this and start eating that instead. How about you have a template that you can personalize and send to your clients instead? And by the way, you can do it with AI. You can do it with ChatGPT. It's great at building those plans out once you understand how it works. We literally had clients who lost 5 pounds in 5 days off of the meal plans that we created with the help of AI. I know, it's crazy, but they did get results, and that's what matters. 3 is home-based strength training protocol, short strategic workouts designed for busy coaching schedules, 100% equipment optional. What it means is that on another coaching session that you would have with your clients, you would probably say, go to the gym and start doing this and start doing that. How about you just put it down on a piece of paper and include it as a deliverable? Number 4 is weekly one-on-one check-ins plus real-time adjustments. No ghosting, no see you in 30 days. This is real support from someone who knows the game. Basically, what it means is you have someone who gave you their phone number. You're a coach, you give them, your clients, your phone number, and you tell them, this is weekly one-on-one check-ins. I'm going to be checking on you weekly one-on-one instead of having calls. That's it. Upgrade path, stage 2 muscle plan. Once you've stripped the fat, we move into muscle growth. Now, in most coaching programs that are related to weight loss, there is some sort of muscle growth plan, just in case. I guess most people want to lose weight and gain muscle at the same time, or at least they want to be more toned. Included as a separate point. 6 is mindset plus identity work. What it basically means is you have one coaching session every 2 weeks and you just talk to them and ask them how they feel. 7 is DIY program that is focused on the exact problem you're dealing with. Always be on top of your routines. This is a program that you record. And how you record a program, if you have never done it before, let's say you are a weight loss coach. Instead of having one-on-one coaching sessions every single week, what you can do instead is summarize all the problems your clients are dealing with, then write it down in a curriculum, and then record a program based on that. Don't make it 90 days long. Don't make it too long. Make 5, 6, 7 videos on how to solve specific problems related to the main problem you solve. Here is how to stop eating crap. Here is how to start eating healthy. Here is how to start intermittent fasting, for example. There we go. That's how you create a program. And then you record it, put it in a Google Drive folder, and send it as a separate thing. Number 8, bonus, 1 year access to XYZ. For example, 1 year access to the program. This is something that you can sell as a separate thing. What is good about Value Stack is that you can sell each and every part of this stack as a separate thing, as a separate level of support. So I can sell a 60-day transformational game plan session for $500. I can sell a tailored meal system for $500. I can sell a home-based strength training protocol for a $500 as well. I can sell weekly one-on-one support through Messenger on their weight loss journey is $200. I can sell a muscle plan for $500 as well. I can sell, well, there are people who are selling mindset coaching sessions for $200 per session. If there are 4 of them per month or 2 of them per month, that's extra $400. A program can be sold for $1 to $2K. So if I were to add all this up, that will be already. Now you break it down in 50% and you say all of that is included for only $2,500. Benefit, if someone doesn't have $2,500, you can tell them, well, look, we know that in order for you to lose weight, you need the transformational game plan, you need the meal system, you need the strength training protocol. I can include that all for you, the game plan, the meal system, and the training protocol personalized to you for $1K. Would that be more doable? No, how about we break it down in 2 payments, $500 now, $500 in 30 days. Simple? Simple. That's it. No weekly one-on-one check-ins, no upgrade path, no mindset plus identity work, no program. That's it. So you have way more flexibility in what you can offer, and they have way more flexibility in what they can buy. That's why Value Stack is so powerful. That's why you can start charging 2, 3, 4, 5, 10K for the work that you do. It will be slightly more work in the beginning because you will have to build out the foundation. But once you do, there's literally nothing stopping you from charging as much as you want. Now, point number 3 is you just got your first client. It's basically the continuation of the point I've been making. Just having those things, and by the way, you already have most of them anyway, you just repeat them every time on your coaching sessions, allows you to charge 2K. Just having those things. Because now you're not a coach anymore. You now own a process that helps people and makes it unreasonable for them not to reach their goal. It is that simple. Bonus, as a business owner, you are not getting paid for spending time in your business, which means that your activities are correlated with your revenue at the end of the month or year. So choose wisely. Here's a list of activities that make us money as coaches: marketing, content outreach, ads, appointment setting and sales, and delivery. As crazy as that sounds. If you're not doing any of these at least 4 hours a day, making money becomes hard. So to recap, playbook to starting a coaching business and charging high ticket from the get-go is having an irresistible offer, making sure that you solve the right problem and you're solving it for the people that can actually pay you. You need to have some sort of acquisition channel. So you need to do either ads or content or outreach or both. I prefer to do outreach plus content. You send out 50 to 100 messages a day to people and you create content on a daily basis. Then number 3 is you just got your first client. How do we now deliver to them? You create a value stack for your program. By the way, I recorded a video on how to create an irresistible offer. The ChatGPT prompt that I've included there has an option to create you a value stack. This is literally the value stack it created after just asking me some questions. So use it to your advantage, have a value stack, deliver to your clients, make them happy. Last but not least, I do want to cover a very important point, and that is, last but not least, as already mentioned, I did record multiple videos on both outreach and sales and appointment setting on my YouTube channel, going in depth on the exact how to do them, money making things. Check it out, enjoy, make some cash. That would be it for today, comrades. Wishing you a wonderful day. Hope you learned something new. I'll see you later. Yes, bye bye.